Everybody, Earl at thelogbook.com, back for another Voyages of Shelf-Discovery Mini. This is something I'm trying out just for this week, kind of a pilot thing. Let me know in the comments. Hit me up in the Discord if you are a member, if you've joined the Patreon. Just let me know. Let me know what you think, if this is something that should be continued, because I found it did take a bit more time than I expected. None more so than this photo session, which involved me having to set up a bit of an improvised scrim just to show the detail on this particular figure. This is possibly the rarest character in the late 90s range of Babylon 5 action figures that was produced by Diamond Select. I know we normally associate Diamond now with these super detailed 7-inch figures that are disturbingly lifelike in some cases. At the time, this was very much a test run before any of that came along for Diamond. This was one of their earliest toy ranges, and it was one of the few examples of actual Babylon 5 merch you had that wasn't, the books or the DVDs or the videotapes. I think there were a laser disc. There was a laser disc or two. But, for anything collectible, you had these figures, you had some micro machines, and that's it. You maybe had some fan club stuff like the Ranger pin, which is pretty hard to come by now. But you didn't have much in the way of figures. And this, my friends, is easily the most disturbing Babylon 5 figure, because this is the Shadow Sentient. I don't think I'm spoiling anything, even if you're not a fan. I don't think it spoils anything for me to say, these are the bad guys. Imagine that. They look like insectoid critters. Imagine, how could that possibly be what the bad guys look like? Well, yeah, these are the bad guys. What I find interesting about the action figure, it's got... all of the legs are articulated. The arms are articulated a little bit. Like, they can move back and forth just a little bit. But this is the first in my action figure collection. Whenever it arrived, I think I got this in 2002 or so. And it was part of an eBay lot where basically some unfortunate soul... their collection was being sold off more or less as an estate sale thing on eBay. And so I wound up with a bunch of loose Babylon 5 figures that I had, which I gave those to a fellow fan, so they now had a collection, because I had already collected some of them. But I got this lot because it had the rare ones. It had Lockley and Bester, and the Drazi, and the Gaim, and this guy, the Shadow Sentient, which was very hard to come by. The articulation is kind of amazing, but the really disturbing part is it has an articulated backside. And you'll notice when the rotation comes around again on the video, the backside of the Shadow Sentient is somewhat prominent, and it's kind of... it looks like someone decided, hey, we need to base the backside of this creature on something, because we have to do a 3D model of it, because Babylon 5 was really the first show to go all in on CGI. And so there was not a practical model of a Shadow Sentient ever built for the show. Not even a part of one. It was always a computer graphic composited in with live action, if you saw them at all, because, Very appropriately for their name, they pretty much stayed to the shadows. So one figures that maybe some 3D assets were shared between the show and Diamond Select to make the figures. And so, if you're wondering, okay, who do we blame the shadow butt on? Because that's a very prominent shadow butt on this thing. Did the show's 3D modelers design this and decide, okay, it's going to look like a big ant butt? Or did the toy people do it? Because, honestly, I don't remember seeing that part of a shadow on screen. And I have watched and rewatched Babylon 5 many times. I don't remember saying to myself, oh, hey, look, I was wondering what a shadow's butt looks like, and there it is. But once I got the action figure, then it was like, oh, perhaps I was better off not knowing what a shadow butt looks like. So there you go. I hope you appreciate the 3D turnaround. That's a very time-consuming thing to do. And I just felt it was important to focus an appropriate amount of attention on the tuchus of this eldritch horror, which may be the first time that phrase has ever been assembled in the English language, on the fly or otherwise. I will accept my Guinness World Record at your convenience. But I don't even know what the secondary market, because it's all secondary market now. These figures are over 20 years old. Running up dangerously close on... Oh no, it is 25. Yeah, okay. Okay, so the figures, the oldest figures, like the first wave, are now 25 years old. It's been a quarter century since we had Babylon 5 action figures. Now, you want to know if there's a problem? That's the problem. But this coming from the last wave before Diamond Select ducked out of the B5 action figure business, and then I think they started deciding what the future of their action figure offerings looked like and decided that it was going to be different. This is probably the most detailed figure out of the bunch. And disturbingly so.